Hey folks, Thursday, September 25th, 2025, and it's a reckless Thursday. Down $106 today with purpose. Remember, don't risk any money you can't afford to lose. Always trade on the simulator.
Welcome to Tradepicks, the only real 2K day trader YouTube channel.
So today's gorilla went off the rails, and we knew that was going to happen. I needed to get this out of the system, try a 4 a.m. all-in strategy to see if we could make some money. And so we went in. We decided to go in early at 4 a.m. and give it all we had. Now, this did not work. Do not attempt this at home. And as you'll see in the trades, it didn't work. So right off the bat, we were down $154 for chasing a couple of stocks very early. They didn't pan out. And as you can see there, our average losing trade was $77, almost 3.5 times what we made on 4 trades. And our biggest loser was SPRC, which we should have waited for the open market because it went up. We're still green, $147 in September with 3 days left to trade. And today's trades is an entire video. We're not going to cut it. We're just going to run it straight. And right off the bat, we started looking at PEPG. If you like our videos, like and subscribe. Leave your comments below, your advice, your hate, whatever that is. Subscribing costs absolutely nothing. It's totally free. If you want to get notified of new videos, just click the bell. So we're watching PEPG, which had moved up a little bit. And we put it on our watch list. But as you can see, it didn't have the momentum. And right off the bat, folks were out to take profit. LAC had a little bit of news, and it looked like it's a continuation stock, and it looked like it was also moving up. But you'll see something interesting. That move over to LAC, and it's the exact same pattern. Isn't that interesting? And we're 40 seconds into the open on the West Coast, 4 a.m. OFAL was also making a little bit of noise. I didn't like this one. I thought that because of the price, it might not attract as many buyers and volume. So we didn't follow through on this one. And I think it fizzles out right at $2. And like I said, today's strategy was no strategy. Was, let's let out some steam. Earlier in the week, things have been a little dull. I suspected that today was going to be a lot busier, and folks were going to be tired of the dull Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and that they would come out and open their pockets and do a little bit more trading. And based on what I saw in pre-market, that's absolutely true. And I know some of you folks probably, hit the timing right on and probably made some money. I wasn't as lucky, but I got it out of my system. That's the important thing. And I went in on this knowing that I could possibly lose $100. So I was prepared. It isn't like I wasn't prepared. And I think I just wanted to get the trades over and go back to sleep. On the positive side, the recap video gets done earlier and gets published earlier for you guys to watch. So I highlighted there the double top, and being a $7 stock and what we've seen from stocks around this area that they tend to go up to $8, $9, $10. We were thinking that there was a possibility that it could eventually hit bottom, and I thought the bottom would be there right around $7.10. And so right here we're expecting to go in and hopefully catch the bottom and a reclaim back up to the top. And there's good numbers in active trader window bids, good number of bids. And it looks like it's going to stay up. I also thought it would, a variety of stocks moving in the open market after 9:30 Eastern, that there would be halts, and those would be difficult to trade, and potentially you lose a lot more. Now, EVAX starts to show here, and it's got news, and I think I've seen that stock before, and we traded, and it did sort of okay, but it didn't really go up, and I think that's registered in my mind, and I decided to leave it alone. So here we see that it hit that one of our support lines there. And so we put out an order. And like I said, we're not going to go in with 10 shares. We're going to go in big time. So our order is in for 100 shares. And it doesn't get picked up. So we go back in. This time we get filled. Of course, we get filled a lot higher. We were hoping for something around 720. And what I've noticed is that in the pre-market, at least for Thinkorswim, which is the platform I use, the desktop platform, in pre-market there are some stocks that have a delay. I know a lot of folks think about using Dash Trader or Lightspeed or something else that's a lot faster, and but there are caveats to that. The only reason I continue to use Thinkorswim is because I've gotten used to the interface, the setup I have, and that it's commission free. Lightspeed, you have to pay for the subscription, you have to pay for level 2, and you have to pay for the trades. And it's certainly faster, but you have to make more money per month in order to upkeep it. So I think to sign up for Lightspeed, it'll cost you over $250 a month. And last month we only made $122. This month we're only at $147. So right off the bat, we're losing over $100 a month. So Lightspeed is out. Dash Trader is also expensive, and I know folks use Dash Trader as an interface because of the hotkeys into a Thinkorswim. And I don't know how much faster that is. And I've also seen folks with Dash Trader hotkeys fail and not get filled or be able to get out of positions on the way down. So there's no difference. So that would be another, $180, $160 a month. We don't need that. So we lost $25 on PEPG, and SPRC starts moving again. Another stock above $5, and this one looks like it's the one. So it's 407, and we're gonna jump in as well. And again, we're going in for 100 shares. We just lost 25 bucks. We want to get those 25 bucks and maybe more if we can. Now we're trading here around 650, and the stock on the open hit 890. So in retrospect, had we held these 100 shares, we would have made a couple of bucks. But those are the breaks. Those are the strategies. We were in for a catch of the momentum, hoping that it would hit 8.5 or 9 and get out real quick. That did not materialize. So, but I'm expecting to see that happen. I think today is a small preview of what is to come. And actually, look at that. We actually did good right here, up to 7. We should have gotten out. We recovered and we made a little bit more money, but we were greedy. Today's strategy was hold for 9. But it was a calculated risk, like I said. So I wasn't fretting over it. I was just trying to get out of my comfort zone. We get too boxed in, and what happens is we only make 10 bucks, 5 bucks. We lose $1, we lose $2, and we gained fear, and we're afraid to jump in. So today was about letting go. It was about opening up and seeing how well we respond, seeing how the market accepts our new release on trading. And I would say there were kind of mixed results. In retrospect, on SPRC, we had a good entry. We actually had a little bit of profit, and we should have taken it. And as you'll see later on with the other trades, we could have had an $80, $100 day. But we needed to experience this. We needed to live these moments to understand the behavior, not only the behavior of the stocks, the behavior of the market, the feel for what traders are out there doing, for the volume. And now we've done it. Now it's behind us. We move on. Tomorrow might be a slower day. We'll go back to being a little bit more careful. We'll take the lessons from today and we'll apply them, and we'll be happy that we let loose. No caution to the wind. Yeah, so here we were already down over 100 bucks. It really did not matter whether we held it a little longer or not. We could see the MACD curling down. But we've seen these stocks hunt down for liquidity and then climb right back up again. And it's only 12 minutes into the open. And it's good volume. I was very surprised. So when you see me adjust like this, I have a indicator up at the top in cyan color that shows the cash. So I have another window that shows settled funds. So what I do is it goes off the screen, of course, but I go into edit studies and I go into the indicator and I manually input the cash, the settled cash amount. And that's how I'm able to see in yellow there, you can see the ask shares, how many shares I can purchase. And as I move from stock to stock, those numbers will adjust. And it makes it real easy. Even though, full disclosure, I'm trading on a 2K account. So we're up as of yesterday, as of before today, we were up to $2,600. But this month, I traded over my settled funds. So I had to send another $560 into the account. So our account right now is upwards of $3,100, close to $3,200. Minus today, it'll be $3,100. So to be fair, I think I should not trade with $3,000. I should only trade with $2,600 as a 2K account as I strive to move it up to 3,000. All right. So we took our losses and now we're switching. So typically in my recaps, you guys don't see this, or I'm switching and I'm going back and forth. Today I decided to let the video run so you guys could see that, I'm no different than any other trader. I'm looking around and looking for bargains, looking for trades, looking for opportunities. And I very quickly moved from one to another. And by the time I got on like at 10 minutes to 4, and these stocks, SPRC, OFAL, XXII, TPG, and LAC were all already up there in the scanners. So I went into a daily time frame and I marked out support and resistance, and that's why you see the lines there. So by the time I'm taking trades, most of those support lines are there, unless there's a new stock that I haven't that wasn't up there in the scanners, or that it just got breaking news and it just popped up. Then I try to go in very quickly before I take any trade and mark those out so that I can see. And it's happened to me. There'll be a stock, a $2 stock. I'll go in and I'll look at it, and there's heavy resistance, 5 to 10 cents right above where it's at, even though it's moving quickly. And I know to back off and stay away from it. As on the other hand, if I didn't do that and I just see it moving and I jumped in, I run the risk of sitting there on 10 and losing as it hits, and it won't go back up again. So even though our trend reversal's still there, it looks like EVAX is moving up. And this would have been a nice one to take right off of that 20 there, off of the green bar. But I waited a little too longer. But so we lost 129 on SPRC, 25 on PEPG, and we're down like $157. And EVAX finally picks itself up from that big red bar there where it sold off. And I think it has to do with pricing. People probably did the same thing as I did. They jumped in on the $6 stocks expecting them to go to 9. It didn't pan out, and everybody moved down here. And this is great volume for this for 4 a.m. And we're doing really good here. It starts picking up, and look at that. And so here I begin to think, okay, well, maybe this is the stock, and I'm going to make 150 here and recover. And I got close. I think I got within. I think I got. I what was it 50. I think that this was so high up that I was within $50 of $50 loss for the day, as opposed to 106. Yeah, that was a nice bar there, and it continued back up. So I thought this would continue on to 6, and folks would continue to push it. So here I decided I wasn't going to get out. I was going to let it go. Nothing else was moving. I think had this type of move happened in open market, this probably would have hit 7 or 8. Some of the YouTube I see from other traders out there, they actually read the news. They'll read the news and they'll try to decipher whether it's good or bad or whatever. I don't. Um, some companies put out very stupid news, um, but I don't think folks care. I think that as long as there's a news catalyst out there, the assumption is, oh, you know, they put out an aspirin pill that cures headaches. Oh, boom, there it goes. They don't care. It just moves. So what you have to follow is the momentum. And whether it's bad or good or indifferent news, if folks start jumping in and creating volume, then that's where we want to be, and that's where we're going to jump in. Yeah, so here our trend reversal says we're going down. So you have to get out. We only made $43, but that helped our cause. And we still had $672 there in settled funds. And so we continue to look. And overall, as I look on it back now, and as I'm seeing SPRC now, it's down below 7. It hit a high day of 8.9. And there was good volume. I think there was a few more folks than earlier in the week. They all jumped in and they all tried to make something of it. Some sold off, some make money, and quickly got out. And I think that's probably going to be the same tomorrow with a lesser volume. And then everybody wait for the next week. I think Powell put a dent in our volume for September, and so folks are just a little bit timid of jumping in. Everybody's afraid that a 15, 17% crash is coming, and that's keeping them away. And I thought September was actually a good month. I mean, I had a good month last year, and we weren't doing too bad here up until the last couple of days, last 3 days. But folks, the statistics are pointing out that September is really a bad month, one of the worst months, which I find interesting because I thought August was. August was pretty ugly, and we managed to ride that out. So we're still positive. We only have 3 days left to try to gain something back, and that's what we're going to do. So we jumped in here, and I think this is the last of our cash. I didn't update it yet. And so, in summary, what did today's experience teach us? Number one, going in at 4 a.m. in pre-market, just jumping on the bandwagon of something that's moving up is very risky. It's 50-50. Your losers are going to be bigger than your winners if you hold on to them because you want to stay in. And that's more likely the case for folks with a small cash account. If you've got, if you're under PDT, if you're over PDT and you can trade and you can recover, then you can sit there and lose $100 and then wait for the next one, wait for the momentum, take it and come out on top. Or take enough trades that you make that money back up again. On a $2,000, $3,000 account, that's not going to happen. You're going to run out of your settled cash very quickly, which is what happened to me today. Trading 100 shares each time, trying to get that big payoff, landed us in this hot water. The second thing is that now we see the behavior. We can see what the behavior is. Folks are out to take profit, and if you're going to jump in, you're going to have to be very ready. You're going to have very tight stops, and tiny little red bars need to cause you to get out. That way you don't lose a whole lot of money. That's one thing I've never believed in. I see some folks that they initiate a trade and 2 seconds later they're out, and it doesn't matter whether they made money or not. What they were looking for is a split second shot up and then hoping to sell and hoping that they landed good money, and vice versa. That if they're 2 seconds out quickly, they don't lose, more than a couple of pennies. I can't do that. It just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like it leads you to anywhere. Because on a small cash account, you're going to sit there and you're going to do that. You're going to be a penny down, penny up, penny down, penny down, and at the end of the day, you're not going to have anything to show for. So we took our shot. Now we look forward to next week. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this was because I mentioned earlier in the week that I was with this extra money that I had added to Thinkorswim. I was thinking of moving it away to make sure that we're still, under 3K, and we're continuing to trade with a 2K account, not like other folks who who have $10,000 worth of margin and can make thousands of dollars in one day. So wanting to keep that account where it should be. So right now it should be around 2,500. So I wanted to take those other 500, move it into Webull, and see if I could trade a little earlier, like at 3 a.m. And when there are movers like what we had last week. And then I thought, well, I have the money here. I can begin to trade at 4 a.m. I went back and I looked at Octo, ADVO, I think, and a couple of other ones, and they actually didn't start to move until 3:30 in the morning, and most of the move occurred after 4 a.m. Pacific, which Thinkorswim allows you to trade with. So I just decided, you know what? If today is a little busier, I'm just gonna jump in the water, and I'm going to go all in, and that's what we were planning on doing. So in essence, yeah, we lost money, but we actually affected the plan that we had in mind. And now we know what happened. So maybe we don't do anything with Webull, and we just take those $500 plus out of the account so that we're back to a valid between 2K and 3K account. Because that's the challenge. I mean, you know, we're not going to make 10 grand, 15 grand off of a 2K account. The challenge is to use a 2K account, build it up, and see how high we can get it. So we're up at 2,600, and then we'll go from there. If we can get it up to 3K, then we'll change the title to trading with a 3K cash account with no margin. That's the challenge. No margin. When you use a $500 account and you've got $3,000 worth of margin, well, it's no longer a $500 account. Or a $2,000 account with $10,000 of margin is not a $2,000 account. But I digress. So I think this is our last trade. We're down to $176, and I think I used that all up. So here, yeah, we started the day with 3170 something, and today we used it all up, and it's only, look at that, in half an hour we used everything up. But I've seen worse. Back in the day, we took a trip. My friends and I took a trip to Las Vegas, and one of the guys says, I've got another friend. He wants to come along. He just recently lost his job, and he's down on his luck. And so, can I bring him? I said, I was the driver. So I said, yeah, sure, there's room. So we go pick this guy up, and it takes a little longer than usual to be available. And we finally get to Las Vegas. And typically, first thing we do is get to Vegas, fill up the gas tank. That way we have to go back home. Your gas tank's full. If you're hungry, well, you're going to eat. If you're not hungry, well, you just start, perusing, maybe hitting the blackjack tables with a little bit of money, or the slot machines. 15 minutes after being in the casino, this friend of mine comes over and tells me, we got a problem. I go, what do you mean we got a problem? He says, the friend I told you about that we brought? He says, yeah. The reason he took a while to get ready was because he went to the bank and he pulled all his savings out. He pulled $5,000 in savings out to come with us. And as soon as we got into the casino, he hits for the poker tables. And in 15 minutes, he gets taken for $5,000. Now, that is an idiotic strategy, thinking that you're going to go in with $5,000 sit at a poker table where you've got these sharks making 20, 30 grand a day, and you're going to walk away with a little bit more profit. I mean, I was in shock at all of what this guy had done. I couldn't understand it, because had he told us that that was his plan, I would have said, "You're a fool. You shouldn't do that. It's not my money, or it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it, but you just lost your job and you take all your savings, and that's what you plan to do. It's risky." Day trading is much the same way. You put your money into a broker and you say, "I'm going to trade," whether you're learning, whether you're not learning, you're putting your money out there for the market to take it from you. So mitigate that risk. And the way you do that is by training on the simulator, by experience. Now, I've been trading for a year. I'm not truly a 20-year veteran. I'm not truly experienced. I'm still learning. I've seen testimony of folks that says, "Oh, it took me 2-3 years. Oh, it took me 5 years to finally realize." And that's where I'm at. So I'm in here in a challenge, learning, hoping to stay afloat. And I don't want to lose more than $3,000 learning how to trade. I think my limit would be 5,000. I would say if I lost 5,000 and I go over 5,000 losing and I still haven't learned how to trade, then I think it's time to give it up, because that's the challenge. Because a day trading course is going to cost you about $5,000. So there you go. That's your education. But now I can say I've done it. So right now I'm holding my own, and thus far I've actually, my drawdown since I started, it's only $1,800. So it's not bad. And here in the last couple of months, I'm holding it together. But today we needed to extend ourselves, as I mentioned, get out of our comfort zone and try something different. Now here is where we should have gotten out at 552, but like I said, we were thinking, oh, maybe $6 is possible, 620. Things will reclaim, and it's only 4:36 in the morning. Look at that, only half an hour. So our recap is almost done. We're $52 up there on the open on this one particular trade, and we only wind up making $4.90 on 130 shares. So we lost another $40, because when we made another $40, our loss for today would have been $80, $70, $80, which would have been okay. So hopefully you guys understand the lesson here, and don't try this at home. And it helps someone out there realize that these are not the things to do. And even more than that, whoever you guys watching, hopefully you had a better day than I did. You made some money. And if you didn't, don't get discouraged. Go back and trade only with one share until you're ready. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And have a wonderful day.